No, that's not going to work. Look.
Why is this taking so long? This is the problem. This right here, this scene is the reason Ahsoka fails. Ultimately, why the show ultimately fails.
The Force will be with you always.
It's not going to work. What are you talking about?
The blade emitter's too narrow.
Now look here, I have been teaching younglings how to construct lightsabers longer than you've been alive.
That's great, but I don't have time for lessons right now. Ahsoka wants us to go after Thrawn as soon as we're ready.
This is
Notice how Ezra reacts. What did he just say? Ahsoka wants us to go after Thrawn as soon as we're ready. How do we know Ezra knows about Thrawn? And that right there is the number one problem with this show. I wanted to like this show. I really did. And if you go back to my original reviews of episodes, I was positive. I was excited. I was looking forward to everything. I was looking forward to Ezra. I was looking forward to Thrawn. I was looking forward to how they would resolve some of these arcs. I loved Balin. I loved Shin. And these last two episodes ruined it all. But there's a bigger problem, an underlying problem with the entire show that I was willing to overlook in many cases. And it's the writing. It's the bad writing. And we see it right here in this episode from the beginning. This opening scene of Ahsoka's ship crawling over like so slow with these turtle people. Why? We have no idea. And then Ezra says the line that made me so frustrated. Ahsoka wants us to go after Thrawn as soon as we're ready. What does that mean? That means that off screen, somewhere, somehow, none of us got to see it. None of us got to witness the reaction to the retelling of how they really are there. How Sabine screwed up, how all of this has been an actual mess up, and now Thrawn is ready to leave, and they're not going to be able to leave as well because they have no plan of how to get back home. All of that happened off screen. All of that is something that we just have to piece together. We don't get to see Ezra's initial reaction. We don't get to see how Ahsoka handles the conversation and maybe even come alongside and give some grace to Sabine. We don't get to see any of that character development, actual character development. Instead, we get to see the ship slowly inching across the screen with the turtle people. Why does that matter? Why didn't the episode just open with the tension that should have opened 2 episodes ago, right when Sabine and Ezra first met? The problem with the Ahsoka show is that the writing is actually not good. You can't just give us fan service and cool little shiny things and make everything happy and good again. We saw some really cool things in this episode, some really cool things that are going forward that I'm excited about, but I am not excited about the way it will be presented because I know it will be continually this important things happening off screen that we don't get to see that help and would help build a character and build a story, and it's just left out. It literally makes no sense. The only explanation is they just didn't want to show us because they'd rather show us a scene of Ezra building a lightsaber, even though he just rejected saying the Force is my ally. Doesn't make sense. They'd rather show us the ship crawling across the screen. Why? So Thrawn can send some TIE fighters to damage the ship, to slow them down so that we can slow the whole episode down to get to the final point that could have been 4 or 5 episodes ago. I wanted to like this show. I really did. What do you think? Tell me down below. Am I wrong? Give me some hope. Because right now, I don't see any.